Hi, Eugenie.
Hi, Nestor.
How are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
And so I might seem a little bit giddy today.
Okay.
Part of it is because I'm honestly very excited. I'm excited to talk to you today. I'm excited to share some information and have this conversation with you. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. So, today's subject, we're going to be talking about geographic farming.
Okay.
Okay. And really, I'm going to, so to the audience that's out there, I really want you guys to take an opportunity because who I've got in front of me right now is, you're like 5 years now in the business, 6 years?
Yes.
So
5 years.
5 years in the business. And you have taken, when I look at a real estate agent and look at ourselves in this career, in this business, and thinking back and reflecting to the first time that I met you and the first time that I talked to you, the one thing that really struck me as awe from the very first time that I met you was she is treating this thing like a business from A to Z. Everything from the planning, what was going on and how you handled things. And then I had the privilege of having further opportunities to see you in action at open houses and things like that, and I was truly taken back, and I'm gonna throw this out on the air. I was taken back, and it was a breath of fresh air for me to see this is the way that this business is supposed to be handled. This is the way that we're supposed to be in this industry. And unfortunately, with so much going on in the industry, the growth that we've had, the amounts of commissions and things that are out there, we get, unfortunately, a lot of people in this business that just don't treat it like that. And it was extremely refreshing for me to get to meet you, and so this is kind of what leads into why I'm so excited today.
Yeah, thank you, Nestor. I agree with you. The first time when I met you, I was really impressed how you guys run the business, and I have now second thought. I came in, and then I knew that this is a very tough business. So from the first year when I got my license before my first trial, and then after 6 months, I started doing business. So my first year, I did 28 transactions. I didn't expect that much because when my background was, I came to the U.S. when I was 21 for my MBA degree. And then I got into, I was a trader in Chicago Board of Trade. So I traded options and futures. And then I came to California because my husband got a new job. So I have to force myself to quit my industry. Even I passed CFA level 2, I'm ready to go to level 3. Then I quit it because I couldn't get into industry anymore. So I become a salesperson selling supplements, materials. And then I figure out if I have kids, if I cannot travel anymore as a salesperson, then I have to figure out something else to do. And then my husband was like, how come we don't want to be a real estate agent? Because we're going to be investors, invest real estate. And then you can, because I don't want to be, just stay at home as a housewife, right? And I see myself be more like a professional person. Then I said, what if I can just do 2-3 deals per year?
Right.
Pay for my nanny, right? And then I can still be professional. And then when I started my business, I see, as you said, I see a lot of actually abundance on my set. I saw a lot of business, but the variation of the quality of the real estate agent in the industry is really big. Like you can see the big one, the good one, and the bad one. You see people like in and out really oftenly. That's how I treat my business as more like business because I think branding and then reputation matters. Because you're always prospecting. You're always prospecting. If you can find something that your niche,
right,
and then you take good care of your clients, and they're gonna reward you more, like multiples. Yeah.
So, and part of the other reason that I'm excited, and I don't know if you guys caught this, but Eugenie was sharing her numbers in the very beginning, and you have honestly taken your business in the last 5 years to a place where most people will never get to, and it's not it's a simple process when we break it down and we look at it, but it's not an easy process. And I think people forget that part, that, hey, the formula's simple. We have a formula, we put it in place, we act on that formula, and the results will show up. That's not easy work. And I've seen you, I've been part of it, I've looked at it. You work very hard, and I don't want people to misunderstand that part of it. You work extremely hard.
Yes, I work really hard. I work literally 24/7.
Yes.
And I think the passion, I love my job. And I think real estate taught me a lot. So up to date, I think I would be more grateful if without being a real estate agent. I'm really proud of my job, and I'm really proud of my team. I work really hard, and I really are grateful my clients have been treating me so good.
Right.
And I want to return back to the people I love, I care, also the industry. Yeah.
So in our conversation today, we're going to talk about geographic farming, and I know that you decided, you made a pivotal change in your business where you decided, hey, I want to create a geographic farm. For you, it's the Great Park.
Right.
And today, I'm going to go a little bit off script with regards, because I really want to dive deep into this. When you were making that decision, what are some of the things that you looked at before you made that decision? How did you map that out? How did you figure out a strategy and things of that nature? Because I've got a strategy in my mind of how I approach it, and what I'm hoping to do today is kind of extract your strategy of how you approach that whole thing. So I want to start with, okay, you picked an area.
Yes.
Why did you pick that area to begin with?
So great part, I picked the area. First of all, I have not been in the industry for so long, and I was not as confident to pick place where there are a lot of top agents there.
Okay.
And then when I picked that, because I live in Great Park, and I truly love the area, and I see there's going amount of people moving into the industry, to the community. So I lived there since 2015.
Okay.
So that's where even before I become a real estate agent, right? I bought the house, and then I love it because I think that would be a great opportunity for me.
Okay. So I heard you say that one of the reasons I picked an area was because there wasn't a lot of top producers there, but
Yeah.
a couple of them popped right in right at the same
Right.
time that you started. You made a commitment, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, well, this agent's in there, and they're starting to work in this area as a geographic farming as well. And then there was another one, and then there was
Yes.
another one, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, actually some of the top agents actually in Irvine and Orange County also chose and made that decision pretty much at the same time you did.
I agree with you. So what happened is, before I even jump into the geographic farm, I actually invite a few top agents in the industry in Orange County. I invite them for lunch or for breakfast, whatever I can. I try to pitch their mind,
Okay.
try to see why they become the top agent. I really respect the people, the peers in the industry, even though right now I'm very humble. I never think that I'm a big agent, even though a lot of people know me, but I don't know them. So I still always have the mindset to respect others and learn from other people. But as you said, the people, there's always, advantages, and also always, what's it called? I always see something like a moat, like competitive advantages from my side compared to other top agents who brought into, because they see the opportunity like me, right? But I don't care about other people who also in the community, because I always see abundance of myself. If I can get something, somebody else can get it, but I got a better service. I got different group of people. And that's how I see myself.
Okay.
So I always not doing the same thing as other people do. I live in a community. I care about the community. I do a lot of community service nobody else would know or would do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's break this down a little bit. So what I'm hearing you say is, so even though there was a couple of other top agents, part of your plan was, well, let me go find some other top agents and pick their brain so I can kind of get a better understanding of this
Yes.
business and how they're running it.
Yes.
And then the other thing that I heard you say is, how can I be different than these other agents that are working in the same community that I
Absolutely.
am? How can I create my own identity? And earlier you used the word branding, and that's one of the most misunderstood words. A lot of times I feel like agents are saying, hey, I got to figure out how to brand myself. And our brand within a community makes sense because that's truly what we're trying to do. And in this particular case, that's what you were doing is, hey, in the Great Park, Eugenie wants to create a brand for herself, and this is what I want it to look like, and it's going to be different than this agent or this agent or these agents or these people because of this.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because of Eugenie group, Eugenie team is different. Everybody know my name. Everybody knows my brand. It's a good reputation. I always be careful on what I say. Even my team, I train them like me, like a mini Eugenie.
Right.
Everybody have to be the same, have the good mindset, have to be treating every single clients, even prospective clients, very, very respectful. And even the peers, we try to be fair as much as we can, if possible, right? And then for our brand, we always be consistent.
Okay.
Our science consistent, our branding consistent. We don't like crappy work. I customize all my stuff,
Right.
and then I don't copy other people's. Yeah.
So, and I hopefully everybody caught that, is it's not just that I'm looking to be different, and there's a difference between looking at what everybody else is doing and how can I improve it or how can I make myself different. Not that one is better than the other, but that it's different.
Yes.
You know, the other agent can be good as well.
Yes.
And we're not going to attract everybody.
Yes.
We're looking for the people that are attracted to us for whatever reason.
I agree. I pick my clients as well. I mean, it's funny how people say that why you're so picky. I have been in the industry for 5 years, and I learned in the hard time as well. I rather spend 100% my energy to a good clients. They create a good momentum. They always talk good things about myself and my team, and then refer other clients and neighbors to us. You know, everybody live in the community. They must have neighbors who they're close to. So they spread good words about the community. Right. And then I'm being really lucky to be in Orange County because we have a variety of clients. You know, they are very diversified. So I'm Chinese, so I got a lot of Chinese clients, but there are a lot of Chinese agents. It's very competitive. The way is they try to get lower commission to compete with me, and I drop a lot of clients like that. And back then I was like, feel bad because what if I drop a lot of clients, I could lose my market shares. Then when I reflect back right now, I think I did the right choice because I pick cherry picking my clients.
Right.
Now my client, they always refer clients to me. Another thing I want to share because this one time one of the top agents come to me and say, Eugene, you are my competitors. When I show my listing to him and his clients. So he's the way that say, this is Eugenie. She's nice, but she's my competitor, right? That's the way that she introduced me to her client. I said, no, we're friends. We're all in the same industry.
Exactly.
I don't treat anybody as enemies because, you know, you always learn from other people. And return back that I think always a lot of business, you don't need to fight with people and then, you know, lose your momentum. I also feel like I rather let people owe me than I owe somebody else. Yeah.
So, and you are an extremely humble person. And I've seen that. But I also want to point something else out. You also are committed and willing to fight when things are right. You walk into this industry looking for people to be fair.
Yes.
And you're fair.
Yes.
But when other people are not fair, you don't have a problem saying, you're not doing this right or you're not being fair. And that doesn't mean just other agents. I've seen you with other clients. Of,
yes.
Hey, sorry, this just isn't a good fit. Now, and you've done it so tactfully. I mean, no disrespect to you, but we're not going to be able to work together because this is just not a good fit because our agendas aren't in alignment of what we're looking for.
Right.
And you have chosen to come from a place of abundance instead of a place from scarcity, which I see so often. I need this deal. I need this deal. I need this deal. I've seen you walk away from, nope, don't need that deal. And nope, don't need that one. And don't need that one. And don't need that one. Because the principles and the foundation are there. And you know, that goes back to a couple of episodes ago when we were talking about our mindset and getting our mindset right and making sure we're coming from the right place when we're making these decisions. And when you stay true to that, things just happen. So
yes, I agree. It's very tough. You know, I'm a very, very fair person, but at the same time, I could fight for myself and for my clients.
Right.
And for the industry. I would do whatever I can as long as it's fair, as long as it's, protecting the industry,
Right.
protecting my clients. I would do whatever I can. I have so many ways and tactics to reach out. I could either reach to the CEO of the builder, public company, if something they treated my clients not right or treating me unfair.
Right.
I would do that. Even though in industry, I have seen so many agents who trying to fight with me for a tiny listing and talk something bad about me.
Right.
And then the seller could come back to me and say, look, somebody, they show it to me that somebody else did that to me. And then I would say, well, let me tell you, I don't know why you tell me about this, about myself to my seller, but that's okay. If you really need that business, take it.
Right.
But please, next time, don't say something.
Say that.
Don't say that. If you say it, I'm not gonna let you go. I'm like,
Right.
Nobody can mess up with me and my clients, and even our team, our brokerage, because I feel like I am representing Remax. I'm representing Eugenie Realty Group. Whatever I do, I have to be consistent, have to be fair, and that's how I care about the industry and my business.
Love it. I love it. So let's break down a little bit into this geographic farming again. So we go in and we decide, okay, I'm gonna work the Great Park area. Did you have a strategy in place of, hey, I need to put together a monthly budget, an annual budget to determine the size of the area that you were gonna work, or did you just make the commitment from the very get-go? It's gonna be this and whatever it takes.
That's a very good question. So we did try a few ways. When I started my business, I tried to budget it, but because Great Park is so big, and for myself, I've been trying like flyers, and then flyers, I realized when you're heading into the fronts of people's store, there's a lot of criminal, things going on. I don't want people see there's a side and nobody living to the house. Then I stopped that.
Okay.
So you can tell how I care about my community.
Right.
And then the second thing is postcards. And postcard, I think is very expensive. And the way that I did it, the return is very low. Then I stopped doing that. And now I figure out more is about, I will always can find a way to have a real conversation and coffee or lunch with my neighbors. I know so many people there. I know more than 400 residents in there.
Okay.
So I'm not like a hungry real estate agent trying to just call them and say, hey, do you have business or whatever. I always listen to them, whatever they need. I have a lot of resources. I always love to work with other people in different industry, let's say landscaping, designing, whatever, whatever, the construction, whatever. I always keep the good people on the side, and then whoever needed, I give it to them. That's me. I think that is actually helping. First of all, I don't need to pay a big amount of money to do farming. I mean, everybody different, but this is me. And then I think that's easy, and I love to hang out with people. I always find activities. And also, the funny thing, in the industry, in the community, I have always my neighbor, my friends always refer other people to me.
Right.
So I don't need to be just prospecting. I know it's hard. I continue doing that. I love doing that, but it's hard.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping everybody listen. If you're listening to this is going to be a part where you really want to go backwards and hit rewind after this is done and listen to this part over again, because I'm going to paraphrase a little bit what I just heard and what I think Eugenie just said. But you started your geographic farming by door hanging.
Yes.
And then
door knock.
And door hanging and door knocking. And you took that, and there was some friction that was there, which is fine. And here's the point that I want to make. Does door hanging and door knocking work? Yes. But I'm having a conversation here where where Eugenie has taken her geographic farming and has seen results in an area super fast with like really crazy numbers and crazy results. So this is where I'm breaking this down. Door-to-door hanging. Stopped that and went to postcards in the mail. They're expensive. Yes. Does that work? Absolutely. What is our normal time that we're looking for a return on that? Usually about 18 months. 18 months to 2 years is the time frame before we start to really see a return on that. Then she said the magic thing that just had that aha moment with me. I've developed relationships with over 400 people in my area, and I just have conversations. I don't need to ask for business. I don't ask for business. I don't prospect. I'm just developing the relationships within this community.
Yes, that's absolutely right, because I think when you look at the real estate and how the technology has changed people thinking and living, used to be very popular. I think postcard may be very popular back then because people always read news, always get the newspaper from their mail, and postcard they treat more differently now. Nowadays, if you look at in Orange County, in Irvine, there are new people. They're obsessive of technology. They use the phone a lot.
Right.
They might not use them. When you send in the mail, they might just toss it. They don't even know who sent that, right? And they're so expensive. What if you can use that money to invite people have a coffee or something? That multiple actually change in people industry, I think. Change this industry. And this is what I see it, because I think sometimes when I could lose a business because somebody more closer to the seller or the buyer than me.
Right.
It's not because I'm not professional, so because they have a better relationship. So what if I have this and create that as a team? All my team members, they do the same thing. They invite people for coffee or for lunch, and they get to know them a little bit. You know, people just like this. If you give them something, they feel like they owe you something. Right? They were always thinking about that. They say,
That's a subconscious thing. You're right.
Right?
Yes.
So that's just the human being thinking, and then their mind, they were like, oh, wow, you're so nice. You listen to whatever I needed, and then you help me. I need to return something back. Right? Something like that. It's not a must, but there are a lot of kind people. They want to do that for you.
So again, going back to very simple. What Eugenie has done is if you listen to last week's podcast and we were talking about working center of influence or sphere of influence, really what you did is you took your geographic farm and you made them.
I combined them.
Your sphere of influence.
Yes.
And you treated it that way.
Yes.
And the results have been phenomenal. So let's get a little bit more into, you mentioned the importance of branding yourself in there. And I know that you do it with your real estate signs, your open houses. Everybody knows when Eugenie's having an open house.
Yes.
So they know. But what are some of the other things that you're doing to help create that brand within the Great Park to complement your one-on-one conversations and the things and that part of it when you're having conversations with people? What else are you doing in that area, in that community, to help create your brand and create that recognition and that reminder for people to see it? Because it's really about the subconscious. It's,
Yes.
I saw her here. Oh, she came up here. Oh, Eugenie's everywhere.
Yes. So first of all, I always put open house signs because that's my brand. It's a lot of hard work, though. I don't see people do it themselves.
Right.
My sister and I, we always do it ourselves.
Yep.
Because that's how we can see what happens in the industry or in the area, what happened in the street. And then I always want to see like how it goes. And that actually provides a lot of branding image in the long term. If you just do it one day, nobody knows you.
Right.
But in the long term, that's hard work. There's one time when we put the signs and we're literally trying to get that listing. The sellers saw us running on the street. They were so impressed. They were like, Eugenie, I know that you are a big agent. I know that you are making a lot of money. You don't need to work right now if you wish. But they are so touching because they are very, very, very good people. And they are top executive from a big company, public company. They saw us like running around, do all this stuff, and then they were so touching. They give us a listing the same day, like right away.
Right.
You know, it's like that. The moments when people see us working a lot, hardworking, and then we never say something. Wow, we're so fancy, whatever. We're always humble. Those are branding. Actually, people reminding people. Every time I do open house myself and my team doing open house, people come in, we always greeting them, always give them good information, always be kind, always tell them what's good in the industry, in the community, whatever we can, right? We never being just sit there like a stick, not talking to people, trying to be, arrogant. So that's our brand. we carry the brand for every team members. I pick my team members. I don't let anybody come into my team if they are not qualified.
Right.
That's the one thing. And second thing, for the community, as I said previously, I have done a lot in the community, including the community's, the great part, building how they build and to collaborate with city halls, with the city managers, city councils, and mayors, and about a lot of issues in the community.
Right.
I am actually one of the lead person to handle that, and I have spending hours like taking care of the community with my people and who truly care about the community, and we've done a lot. So that's how people see us. And also we have a group that we always my neighbors, they always send questions. Like say, a lot of questions. So where can I find a dentist? And, how can I, keep away stuff, all this stuff. And then we have the group. We allow them to share it and their struggles, wherever they can talk in the group. So the neighbors can helping them. Sometimes I can guide them through. Or if you need something really important or urgent, they call me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and paraphrasing again, so what I'm hearing is, how am I serving the community? And when I say how am I serving the community, it's how am I serving the community in any way, whether I'm a representative on the community's behalf at city council, whether I'm a representative to you need something that absolutely has nothing to do with real estate, to how is it that I'm going to serve you and just be there to help.
Absolutely. So I don't like politics. But I know how to deal with politics.
Okay.
It needs a lot of work.
Well, there's a lot of it because it was an old military base and things like that. There was a lot that came behind that.
Absolutely.
So
a lot of problems.
There.
Yeah, a lot of problems. And I think there's a way that as, you're the homeowners there, you love your community, you want to make it a better place.
Right.
For the kids and for the elderly, residents there. So I would do whatever I can to make it a better place. And that's me. That's my branding. Okay. And then how the people see and it's so consistent. That's why I don't deal with, clients who are really demanding or, bad, because those people, they always spread bad things about you. So I would rather just say no to them, be nicely, than just, have some problem with them in the future.
Okay. So I want to jump ahead to, because one of the other strategies that I see you use with regards to branding and the community, social media.
Yeah.
So for you, YouTube, probably
Yes.
your number one.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that and what was the thought process behind that? Why YouTube? Why, was this part of, hey, my conversation with the others, and how did that become?
So I was not planning to do something big, just try to be a little bit, to let a window to let, outsiders or people to know me and my team. That's how I created the YouTube channel.
Okay.
And it needs a lot of work and maintenance and, and all the stuff is hard. And then we're still doing it, but just slower, because I think that is let people understand us, and branding is one thing. But if you want to be just getting business from there, I think it's hard.
Right.
It's hard from YouTube because we do a lot of Chinese style, Chinese language. It's hard to break into China. There's a lot of barriers, right?
Okay.
We talked about that before. And then also in my so I'm a volunteer in Great Park. So I creating a page called Voice of Great Park.
Oh,
so this is the page. Now we have over 3,000 followers.
Okay.
Every month I don't put a lot of like crazy like selling stuff in there, like listing whatever, because it's not the place where I should put.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Is this a Facebook page? Or
Yeah,
is this,
Facebook
okay,
page.
so this is a Facebook group page. Okay.
Facebook page is talk about mostly about Great Park.
Okay.
Great Park and the city and then the community. And also I would, every month, I will generate a summary of the market.
Okay.
Of Great Park and Irvine and Orange County.
Okay.
Let people see what's going on in the community. Yeah.
Okay. So I already know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask the question anyway.
Yeah.
And with success comes haters. How does Eugenie deal with the for lack of a better word, the haters that are out there, the people that are, when it's a fact of life, when we start to grow and we start to have success, there are people that just, for whatever reason, don't want us to
Right.
and have a problem with that. How do you deal with that?
That's a very good question. So first of all, I don't think I'm that successful person. I think I always have the opportunity to grow. The sky is the limit, and we always have to care about clients. And second of all, how to deal with the haters. I focus on my business. I don't mind other people's business. I don't care about what other people say about me. I don't even see who's there,
Right.
being being the haters, because I love my job. I loved my community, and I love my team. Just because I have a very, very good family vibe. I never bring any issue into my home. I have really, really good husband and kids, and my parents, they always taught us to be grateful.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I do see that in you, that you put your head down, you do the job, you take care of the responsibilities, you do it in a responsible, the word I'm looking for, you do it in a responsible, caring way, and that comes out in everything that you do. But follow-up question, what I just heard you say. So do you work from home, or when you get home, I'm home and business is done? Is there a separation there? Is it kind of a continuation? How does that work for you?
That's a very good question, because when I see myself, it would be more like a super mom, right?
Okay.
So my husband, he's a portfolio manager. He's very, very busy. He works from 7 to 9 every day, from Monday to Friday. So with that being said, I have to take care of my kids. I just put my 2 kids to private school.
Okay.
So I have to drive them in the morning and then pick them up in the afternoon. And I have been really, really successful at how to be efficient on my times. I'm very efficient person. That's why I don't spend time to be energy, like negative stuff.
Right.
I don't even think a second on negative stuff. I always spend time focus on good stuff and get it done.
Right.
And then I have trained my team to be like me. Whatever I do, whatever I say, they do the same thing. So that can save me a tons of time and energy. So I can manage my kids. And now even I can tell you, I own 9 investment homes.
Okay.
I manage it myself around the U.S. I don't even hire somebody to do it. So I do it myself. And then I also take care of my 2 kids myself. So my kids are 6 and 3.5. So I have 2 boys. So that that how hard I work during the 2 pregnancy, right?
Right.
And that's one thing also.
Yeah, we met. You were pregnant
yes,
when we
yes.
first met. Yes, it was
So I drove.
Christmas Eve, if I recall.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's funny. I drove to the hospital myself to have 2 kids deliver myself twice.
Incredible.
Yeah, and then that's me. I work, and then the doctor called me. You had better go to deliver the kid, and then I run over there. So myself, and then I work a lot, but I can manage my kids. My kids are very, very good kids, and I have trained them very well, and they are very good, academically as well. If you think it's hard, it's hard. But if you want to do it, you can handle
Yes.
like work and family. Because by the end of the day, if you make a lot of money, you are not happy, right? Or you don't make money, you take care of kids, you feel like, financially it's not stable. So I try to be both. And it's a lot of struggle in the beginning, but now I have creating a very good team helping me, and I can handle it very well.
You've put your systems in place.
Yes.
So and I, part of me we haven't even talked about, because I've got to imagine in that a lot of this comes from. Very rarely do I meet somebody that walks into my office and says, "Well, yeah, I've got an MBA, and it was very apparent. I'm going to treat this thing like a business, and from day one, and all your systems are put into place. It's a systems, it's a check, it's a, hey, when they're not working, how do I adjust this? And don't worry about the fact that it didn't work. It's boom, okay, we need to make a correction and move forward." And that's always been the mentality that I've seen from you, and always been the direction that I've seen. And you've heard it several times here. This is not easy. She's said it several times. This is hard work. Okay. So the real question is this worth it? And I feel like that's a question that everybody has to answer for themselves. You know, what is it that I'm looking for out of life? What is it that I'm looking for out of, you know, you're not just working hard at work. I hear Eugenie saying, I'm working hard at my relationship. I'm working hard for my family. I'm
Absolutely.
working hard with my kids. I'm working hard with my husband. My parents. That all of these things are a factor.
Yes.
And it's not this is more important than this. These are all important, and I'm working hard at all of them. And I'm feeling the reward that's coming from all of it.
Yes, I think there are a lot of people, they think about themselves too much.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were like, oh, why my husband, my kids not listening, or my parents not helping me? I think you can have to see it the way that you respect them, you appreciate them, you work harder, and they return back much a better thing to you. They, like my family, my whole family, they treat me very, very nice because I would always listen to them, always pay attention, always, be humble to understand what their needs are. It's like consistent, just like a business, right? You always have to keep up with the business, with the competitors, and with the environment. Especially right now, the technology has shaped our thinking, our living. You always have to adjust, and always be humble and learn.
So I'm going to ask you this question. So, Eugenie, I want to start a farm. I want to start a geographic farm. And just like you did in the very beginning, I want to go to a top agent and I want to pick your brain. What should I do? How should I go about this? What are your thought processes? What advice would you give me in the next, let's call it 1 to 3 years? What should I plan?
That's a very good question because I think it depends on where you live, right? I see a lot of people, they do farming in a different area where they don't live. For me, I live in here, so I can tell you a good idea of that. So I think depends on the people who live in there, the age.
Okay.
If the old age, maybe you do postcard, or if you have money, do postcard.
Okay.
If you don't have money, I would rather think that if you have a dog, you walk the dog around, talk to people, or you can do open house into the community. Ask for other people to give you the opportunity to do open house.
Okay.
Do something that people don't want to do.
Okay.
And then can you show that? And also you can put the signs in the community and show that you are the agent. But those are really hard work. Depends how your schedule. I think that if you have a lot of money, you can try out postcards, right? You don't care. If you put the money in there in, like you said, 18 months, if it doesn't work, right? Or if you are a soccer player or something, you can get a volunteer. Let's say you can play soccer with the kids in your community and let them to know you, the parents know you. I think that's another way. And also for me, if I would do it, if my kids live in, go to school in the same community, as part of the farming strategy, I would be a PTA. I will help the other parents and talk to them and to see what their struggle are and helping them. Even that, something like that the down to the nitty gritty is like the business is about relationship.
Right.
You need to care about people in your farm area to understand what they need or some problems. Always, there's a lot of way to do it. Sometimes it's geographic or demographic, whatever you guys call it, the farming, and for me, I think because it works for me because my community has a lot of Chinese. That's how I built my business in the beginning.
Right.
And then I can help them because they don't speak English. And I help them a lot in different ways. That's another thing. So I guess it depends how everybody, have different situation. But I can leave my email, wherever, if they need to ask me.
Okay.
I will be happy to help them. And also based on your personality. If you are the person always love to talk to people, and you should meet them.
Right.
Even like Starbucks or coffee shop. I saw the book called, I forgot the name, it's Ryan Sherhan from New York. He wrote a book, I read them. It's fantastic. Beginning, he didn't have business. He always go to Starbucks or something to know people.
Okay.
That's the way that everybody is different. But I think farming has changing because the technology has changed. You always have to be mindful to see how your community erode in a different way. If the people move out, the older family move out, and younger people come in, the way that thinking might change, I think.
So one of the things I heard you say in the beginning of that conversation was, do the things that the others aren't willing to do.
Yes.
And it's not do the things that you think will work or not work. It was, and the other thing I heard, and piggybacking on that exact statement, was do the things that other people aren't willing to do that you enjoy doing. You know, if you're into soccer, create something around that. If you're into baseball, create something around that. If there are kids, if you have kids and you're involved in the schools, get involved in the PTA if that's something that you truly have a passion for. And so I don't want people to misunderstand. Eugenie didn't say do stuff you don't want to do or you don't
Absolutely.
like doing to please somebody else.
Absolutely.
Find the things that you enjoy that fit within the scope of developing relationships within the community and do those things.
Absolutely. Otherwise, you're gonna suck it. You're gonna,
Exactly.
and then you're gonna be, you hate it so
Yep.
much. You're not gonna show yourself.
Right.
You're like different person. Yeah.
So hopefully you guys heard that. If you don't pick stuff you like, you're gonna suck at it. And it's not because you're bad at it, and yes, you can fake it, but people can see that.
Yeah.
So if you gotta do it, you might as well do something that you enjoy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I love that. So if I'm starting my geo farm, and you know, for me, I always look at reverse engineer, and we had this conversation early on. I remember having a conversation with you and your husband. We had went out to dinner, and we were talking about when you were starting to incorporate YouTube into was, hey, let's sit down, let's figure this out, and let's map this out. But when we reverse engineer things, do you look at, or what is it that you're looking at? Do you say, hey, I want to be here, let me start here, and let me figure out how I can go here? Do you just kind of plug in and go for it and then start to make adjustments before? Is it a combination of the two? How is it that you get from here to here?
Yeah, that's a very good question because I have created a really solid foundation of my business. And all this stuff is like a bonus. Let's say if it works, it works.
Okay.
But if it doesn't work, we should not being so stubborn to stick with it. Right? We always have to have adjusting mindset to see what works for best of our team.
Right.
Because sometimes if we don't like to be on camera, that will be a hard thing, right, to be successful. So we always try to be adaptable to see what will work and what doesn't. But we always have to focus on our foundation, our business. So we have to be really caring, circle of influence, and word of mouth, always important. So we always out there. Like I work every day almost. If I want to, I always out there with people, with clients, with friends. I always out there. I'm not like just sitting in the home, do nothing or watching the TV or something. I don't even have a TV in my house. So we read, right? We're same kind of people. We read a lot. We care about what's, read and learn from other people from different industry. That's how I learn.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and so I'm hearing have the foundation in place, and for you the foundation was creating that relationship, belly to belly relationship within the community, and then it's everything else that I do. Hey, if it works, great. It's a bonus.
Yes.
It's making this part, this foundation, stronger, better, and helping that grow. But your foundation is relationships within the geo farm.
Absolutely. Because that is something that people cannot grab on. I think that's called mode that I care about, called economy mode. I don't know whatever you guys call it, but that's my business. I create a mode. People cannot come in. The wider, the better. So that's how I create my foundation.
Right.
And I care about it and cultivate it. It takes time, but it's worth it.
Right.
It's moldable.
Okay. I'm excited. I got a new perspective on geographic farming today. I don't know if hopefully those of you that got an opportunity to listen to this today got some information out of it. And traditionally we tend to be very regimented in, hey, okay, so here's the process. Find your geo farm, check the turnover rate in there, check this, check your competition, see what they're doing, and things of that is normally how we systematically go through this. And one of the things that I enjoyed about this conversation today so much is that we really just made a pivotal change. And hey, if you're wanting to create this, it is no different than a center of influence in a community.
Yes.
And Eugenie is developing a community within her geographic farm, and you've done it a couple of different ways. A Facebook page that you've got for the community. So, and I'm guessing the Facebook page isn't really, hey, just listed, just sold, just listed, just sold. That the Facebook page is more, how is the community served in any way? And the other things that you're doing, leading by example, I've driven down the street and I've seen you and your sister putting up signs. I've seen you guys pushing the button at the crosswalks and going across the street and putting up the signs. And we're not talking 9 or 10 signs. We're talking 40, 50, 60, yes. 70 plus signs out there. So it's not a, hey, I'll be back in 10 minutes type thing. And let's face it, the weather isn't always perfect here where, we're not blushing at the end of that whole thing. So that is hard work. And you're right. People do see it. People do see when we're present. And, they see us when we're showing properties. They see us when we're in the community on a daily basis. They see us when we're walking the dogs or hanging out with the kids or being part of the other activities that are within the community. They pick up on all of that, consciously and subconsciously.
Right.
So I say kudos to you. Wanted to, in closing, anything that you'd like to share with everyone?
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Nestor. I think that this is a great way to the channel talk to other friends and the peers and the people. I think that the most thing I learned from this industry is it made myself become a better me. So I really, really appreciated how I learned from people, life, death, divorce, and being wealthy and then lost all the money. So I see these ups and downs. That has taught me from the beginning. When I was starting my business, I was 29. And now I am growing my own investment portfolio. That's how I learn. Never being just that. You have to be better. You have to learn to all the agents, if you have money, don't spend them all. Never care about your face, care about your branding and about your financial situation. Always save money and, buy small homes and make it bigger. Right. Don't even just live into a fancy house. Buy it, investment home, and then you can return in the long terms and you have financial freedom.
Right.
Because our industry has changing so much. Even though I'm in the short period of time, I noticed that you could be a winner today and you could be a loser tomorrow.
Yes.
So if you can save as much you can and do some investment, and then in the long term, get more homes, in your pocket that you as a part of portfolio, and then in the long term, being more responsible for your financial.
Right. Yeah. And I think a lot of people don't see that in the industry over the last 5 years has changed dramatically. And prior to that, I've been doing this for I'm going on 25 years now. It didn't used to change this quickly. And what worked yesterday would work the next day and the next year and the year after. And that you're 100% correct. It's if we are not being an innovator or thinking ahead or forward thinking on a regular basis, we are getting left behind and somebody else is coming in and picking up where we left off.
Absolutely.
I am humbled by today in our conversation, and I am thankful. I appreciate you sharing your time because I know that you're extremely busy, and I appreciate you sharing your time with us today.
Thank you, Nestor.
Thank you. So in closing, everybody, I wish you guys a happy Friday. Eugenie, I wish you a happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Happy weekend. And if there are any questions that you guys want answered, feel free to put them into the chat. We'll come back later, and I'll come back and I'll address those. But I just wanted to say thank you. Phenomenal conversation. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Nestor, for having me.
Oh, truly my pleasure. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend, and we will talk to you guys soon.